Always considered myself as a bit of a connoisseur of content, whether it's finding those gems on YouTube or bizarre old TV shows. And that's where today's video comes in. When people discuss which of the Spider-Man movie series are the best, no one ever seems to mention what is clearly the best one: the 1978 Japanese Spider-Man. So today, I want to introduce you to this wonderfully bizarre version of the much-loved web-slinging, crime-fighting superhero. Since I have no clue how to even go about showing you this show, why don't we just watch through some of the episodes together, starting of course with the premiere. Right away we get some very eerie messages from the Spider and are then introduced to these space villains coming to Earth. We then meet this dude named Takuya Yamashiro riding a motorcycle who's hearing the ominous spider we heard before. Now that all these great plot devices have been demonstrated, we get some exposition on who these alien beings are. This is the Iron Cross Army, and their leader is the menacingly named Professor Monster. Yes, I am not joking. Alright, this next scene is super important, so pay attention. We cut to the bike riding dude we saw earlier, and now he's fixing it indoors while it is still running. His sister tells him that they need his help in excavating the meteorite that they saw earlier, that being the Mech, but he responds that he has a race tomorrow and he cannot help. Alright, now the super important part. His dad walks in and tells him that it's okay, and that he better win. Did you get that? Do you see how close their relationship is? Okay, good, moving on. Now, our characters diverge, with Takuya hearing telepathic messages and his dad going on the excavation mission. While searching for the meteorite, they run into the members of the Iron Cross, or more specifically, a dinosaur-looking thing. As it turns out, Takuya's visions led him to the same place, and he finds his dad lying on the rocks by the river. He doesn't really have a single scratch on him, but you know, he dies. After this truly dramatic and devastating scene, Takuya promises to honor him by defeating the supervillain. He notices these random marks and, as you do, immediately recognizes them as dinosaur footprints. But not before getting ambushed by a squad of fighters from the Iron Cross. In this epic fight, he is stabbed and tries to flee, but while doing so falls into an underground cave. where he finds the spider that had been speaking to him all along. We find out that this old man, Garya, is actually a veteran fighter from the planet Spider, and he has been waiting for a successor for 400 years. Now, if you remember, Takuya got stabbed, and now is suddenly dying. Garya gives him this bracelet that has spider extract, and Spider-Man is born.
Spider-Man! スパイダーエキスのおかげで蘇ったのだ。私は君の来るのを待っていた。長い間までモンスター教授を追ってきた。ところが罠にはめられ、この毒蜘蛛の洞窟に叩き込まれた。君はスパイダーマンとしての能力を身につけた。頼んだぞ、兄弟よ。
Oh yeah, and he transforms into a spider.
何をぼやぼやしている。十字だ。君の腕にはまっているのはスパイ。
Takuya somehow ends up home and is still getting those telepathic messages, and he finds out that this is the spider bracelet, which has the spider protector in it. If you have not noticed, yes, everything just has the word spider in it.
ブレスレットだ。ピンチの時にマーベラーを呼びかけるがよい。プロテクターを。
Spider-Man is officially born. Now he has his great mentor who he talked to for a full 5 minutes, and his father to avenge in his fight against the Iron Cross army.
Shinko to Takuya. Takuya, 君は雲の能力を有する。まさに雲になったようだ。
なんだけどな。でもいないじゃない。
He goes to infiltrate their ship, and we see just how far our great Spider-Man has already gone. As he nears victory, the real enemy appears. As he is too great to defeat, our hero calls for support. His flying car. But as it turns out, that is not enough either. And now we finally get to the best part. This is not just some Spider-Man. This is Japanese Spider-Man. And what does that mean? Mecha. He may have won this fight, but the war has just begun.
博士は今この墓地に静かに眠っている。
スパイダー星人と名乗るガリアから信じられないような話を。
Episode 2 begins with Takuya grieving over these two father figures. Through the telepathic spider messages, we learn of the Spider Planet's backstory and how this war against the Iron Cross army began. It is a truly devastating tale of Professor Monster trying to take over the galaxy. He killed everyone on the Spider Planet, and thus began Garia's journey to defeat the Professor Monster once and for all. He chased him back to Earth, where he fell into the same cave as Takuya met him.
やぶから棒に。
怪しいものを見た人は救急病院にいるんだな。
そうよ。
一緒に来るんだ。
We learn that a train has tipped over and some fishy business is afoot, so it's time for Spider-Man to save the day once again.
Takuya-san.
大丈夫かい？
Now, don't ask me what's up with the constant backflips or the over-the-top close-ups, but after the fight is won, we get some more insights into our new Spider-Man's thought process. He is so honored to fight in the name of Garia that he promises to fight as long as he lives. But sadly, as he enters the room, he finds the spider that Garia turned into dead on the floor.
拓也に全てを任せ、今生き絶えた。
I'm sorry, this is just too much. So anyway, back to crime fighting. There's another train that needs saving, so Takuya drives over there, as Spider-Man always does, and is ready to save the day.
高性能のジェット燃料を満載し、毎日走っている。
He notices that the tracks have been destroyed and that the train is headed straight for them. In a heroic move, he pulls the brake. Yeah. That just stops the train. I mean, there was a man in there too, and trains don't just stop. But anyway, we get an awesome montage of our hero. And then we have another great villain, so it's time once again to hop into the flying car and fly into the mecha. Alright, by this point you get the idea, so let's skip to the finale of this wonderful series. At this point, Takuya has reached his full potential and is on the offensive. He single-handedly dismantles one of the Iron Cross's secret bases and sends them retreating.
撤退する。
一つの秘密基地は潰した。だが
We cut to Professor Monster, who has figured that he is in trouble and that there may be a spy amongst them. It turns out to be true when Spider-Man shows up at their mission site, and yet another battle ensues. We learned that the two sidekicks of Professor Monster had been informing Spider-Man all along, and now get ready for this, this is some serious evil mastermind evil business. Reason 1 was just to give Amazonas the opportunity to defeat Spider-Man. And the second reason is that the secret bases don't matter, as he is planning to build a secret base in the Amazon. His goal is to nuke all major cities and establish himself as the ruler of Earth. Yeah, I don't really get it either. Monster gives Amazonas one final mission: to not come back until Spider-Man is dead.
スパイダーマンに伝えろ。瞳が欲しければ鬼が。
We cut to Takuya, whose house is already being attacked by their forces, and the final great battle begins.
よ、私の得意な七変化をね。
この世の名残。
At this point, he is purely fueled by revenge. Very wholesome, right? But he obtains the Amazonas bracelet that somehow ends him leading to their base. And now, it's time for Professor Monster to deal with the legendary hero. Play the theme!
Spiderman! 貴様の最後だ、モンスター!
スパイダーマンは
Shut up, fake me.
Then this happens. Do I even need to say anything? But you know how this ends. The Mech returns one final time. Old Laser Eye fights back, but he is no match for Spider-Man. Finally, Takuya has avenged his father and Garia. The story of the greatest Spider-Man ever has come to an end. And that's the video. Hope you enjoyed this more of a quick, silly video rather than my usually more serious content. I'm really experimenting with all sorts of ideas, so please, if you do have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Also, on why I've been gone for such a long time, it's because my mic died and I just got a new one, so that is also probably the reason why I may have sounded a tiny bit different today. But other than that, I want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.